It is 169th day of heroic resistance of Ukraine. It's me, Natalia Staroprava, and we continue the series of briefing in Mediacentr Ukraine. Here with us is Andrii Plakhotniuk, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to Ukraine in the Kingdom of Sweden. Mr. Andrii, glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes. Ukraine is still Sweden is still waiting for the ratification of the protocol from a number of countries. So, what do you know for the current period, and when can we expect the result? There are 7 countries that have to finalize the procedure of Sweden entering NATO by means of ratifying the relevant documents. Currently, these countries are Portugal, Greece, Spain, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Turkey. It is important to understand that Sweden is working in close coordination with another country that has also submitted its documents and was supported by the alliance. This is Finland. We are talking about synchronous process taking place at the same time, and we expect that the rest of the protocols will be ratified by the corresponding parliaments when the active political season in Europe will be resumed, and we hope it will be in the nearest decades or in the nearest month. We know that Sweden has applied for NATO membership on the 18th of March, and we already have these results. What expedited this process, in your opinion? Well, it was expedited by the war of Russia against Ukraine, which is learned by Sweden and Finland, and therefore these countries are trying not only to forecast in plans but also in their practical steps how they can combat this threat. And all the politicians, all the steps of Finland and Sweden are well supported by all the members of the alliance. We know quite a complicated negotiation process of these 2 countries with Turkey, but we know that the alliance will become stronger after Sweden and Finland become its members. Now, Finnish and Swedish diplomats are working and try to coordinate all these processes with the other countries, which are very active in the process. What is said about potential membership of Ukraine in the alliance? Are there any forecasts? I can mention that Sweden has traditionally been supporting us regarding European integration of Ukraine. As far as NATO is concerned, we count on deepening our cooperation with alliance after Sweden and Finland become NATO members. So far, uh, we have heard from the Prime Minister of Sweden, Magdalena Andersson, and she said that when Sweden becomes the member of the alliance, it will comply with the open door policy. What should be the steps of Ukraine to become NATO member? We should continue working on the plans we are implementing now. We see that Ukraine is trying to renovate its army and harmonized its army with that of army standards, NATO army standards, and this is something we are trying to do now. Since full-scale invasion of Russia into Ukraine, how the relationship between Sweden and the Russian Federation has changed. Currently, political cooperation is frozen. There are no contacts whatsoever, though the Swedish embassy in Russia is still functioning. Sweden has joined one of the sanction packages. I'm talking about the one that was on exiling Russian diplomats from Sweden, and still our diplomats in the Russian Federation in order for us to have all the information about what is happening in Russia. I think here the embassy is working at its minimum capacity because, as far as the press is concerned, and the politicians are concerned, and the society is concerned, we feel full solidarity with Ukraine in our combat against this evil. And since the moment of full scale invasion, this support and this solidarity has just been strengthened and enhanced. How the relationship between Sweden and Ukraine has changed since the 24th of February. Currently, we have got 5 packages of defense support from Sweden. I have already mentioned it during the previous communication that the Parliament of Sweden took a historical decision, uh, and the previous decision was taken about 80 years ago when Sweden helped Finland to combat the Soviet Union invasion. So now they have taken this obligation again, and they continue supporting us in the military area and in humanitarian area. Now the amount of assistance given to Ukraine, the figure is 4.2 billion Swedish crowns. It's about 395 million euros. And Sweden is going to continue providing this support. Yesterday in Copenhagen there was an important conference of northern countries in support of Ukraine, and from Sweden there was a Minister of Defense, and he confirmed that they will be continuing their support. And the press has mentioned that 3 areas of support were identified: military support, training Ukrainian military, and the third area was manufacturing by Swedish companies military equipment, which is needed by Ukraine. So all these 3 options have been encompassed, and we are working here for them to be implemented and for the support to be enhanced. Mr. Plakhotniuk, what do you know about the Ukrainians who had to leave Ukraine since February and who went to Sweden? How many Ukrainians now live in Sweden, and what kind of support, apart from financial support, they get? Currently, the approximate figure of Ukrainians who were forced to leave their native land and go to Sweden and who now are IDPs here is about 42,000 people. There are about 13,000 kids. This is the figure which is actually less than expected by Migration Service of our country, but this is the figure that we operate, I mean, both us and our Swedish colleagues. And as far as the Swedish government is concerned, we really feel lots of support. First of all, this is support regarding having school places for kids and organizing jobs for parents. Why schools are important? The legislation of Sweden is such that the kids have to go to study only according to Swedish program, and there cannot be any other program taken. But apart from this, lots of things are done. So now it's summer, and Swedish companies and volunteers and local authorities organize lots of summer camps for kids, for them to have some rest, for them to have some holidays, and to go to school in September. Apart from this, there is additional support regarding healthcare and social security. Even museums are free for Ukrainians to be able to attend them. And the authorities of the countries introduced changes to our budget, 10 million crowns, in order to address the needs of Ukrainians in Sweden. Please tell us, for how long will this support be given to Ukrainians who now temporarily live in Kiev? And what do the Swedish people think about our victory? The Swedish society fully supports Ukraine. They are in solidarity with Ukraine. They believe in our victory. Sweden supported the candidate status uh, of Ukraine, and they will be supporting Ukraine as much as Ukraine will need. And I participate in different marches in support of Ukraine, and I all the time hear from Swedish people that they are ready to support Ukrainians, that they are ready to host Ukrainians in their homes, they are ready to provide Ukrainian people with jobs and school uh, places, school seats. They understand that we are not fighting just for Ukraine. We are fighting for the free world. We are fighting for Europe. We are fighting that people will live in free and democratic countries. Thank you. It was Andrii Plakhotniuk, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Ukraine to Sweden. This is everything for today. Please follow our announcements at the resources of Mediacenter Ukraine. We stay together because we come closer to our victory one more day.